2013. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag, to the republic, one under God.
Liberty. Okay. Deborah, do you want to do a roll call? Do you have an agenda?
will.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Oh, Richard?
Okay.
I got a microphone here and everything. I'm ready.
Okay.
Bryson is not here. Sean Kidd's excused. Davis.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Fuhrborn.
Here.
Have a quorum.
We have a quorum, yes. Thank you, Richard. Okay, we don't have any agenda changes or revisions.
Actually, let me just tell you one thing. We're going to have a brief, like PowerPoint, basically telling you what you're going to see on the road.
Okay.
So, and that'll be, I guess, down in new business.
In new business, okay. There aren't any minutes available at this time from the last meeting, so we don't have any public comments on non-agenda items. No final orders or resolutions. There aren't any public hearings scheduled for this evening. No old business is scheduled, so new business.
Okay. I am going to be showing you a few slides of the tour we're going to take as soon as we recess. And I'll just start off by reminding you about the GAP project that we have all been anticipating for over 10 years, I think now, since it was first in the State Transportation Improvement Project. It is that two-lane section between about Southeast 23rd and down to Southwest 35th Street. It right now has just 2 lanes, no turn lanes, so it's a big problem for traffic backing up when somebody wants to make a left. It has no sidewalks, no bike paths, and of course we have a lot of students. This is a student who's on his way back from, I think, college probably, and he's walking to town. And so, you know, it could be a lot better, and now it's going to be better because we had also wanted a intersection improvement right here at 32nd. This is just north of the Nell Scott Strip. And as you may recall, the city had initially proposed this, making it a 3-lane and then an improvement at this intersection with a traffic control light. ODOT said we really need a 5-lane here if we're going to do anything, and so the whole thing stalled for a long time. And now the ODOT has come around to what they call a practical design policy, meaning that even if a project doesn't meet their standards, if it's an improvement and they can afford to do it, they're willing to work with the city to do that. And so we have ended up with a 3-lane project, and actually we are getting the improvement at 32nd with the traffic control lights, so that's going to be huge. I have several sheets of the plans available, and we can look at those later, but I'm just throwing one up here. This is the Nell Scott Strip area, and it shows that the 3-lane is extending north. It includes bike lanes and sidewalks for, I think, almost all of it, if not entirely on both sides. It's pretty much all the way up. And we also have a detail that we can look at later on a large plan of a new parking lot that's going to be just south of the Nell Scott Strip. And that will facilitate traffic in this area between the store fronts and that little median strip. Right now it's 2-way, and there's some confusion about turning in and out, and this hopefully will resolve that and make it safer and easier for shoppers to get in and out. Now, a new wrinkle to this. Well, the plans will be, the bids will be let, and we expect to open bids at the end of February for this highway project. And then the construction's going to start a month or two later, so it's really going to happen. What I did, last spring was apply for some money for, and maybe you remember this, the Planning Commission did provide a letter of support for a project that would include some planning in the area of 23rd Street Southeast and all the way down to 32nd. For that area, those properties that are vacant or underutilized, thinking that once this project gets in and we have a left turn lane and we have walking and biking facilities, that it's going to stimulate some development of that area, or redevelopment. And so we wanted to be ready for that. So that is the area that we're going to take a look at when we go on our tour. And just to refresh your memory, these are the letters of support we got. I included those in the packet for this evening, so you could read them over and see what people said. We got a resolution from the City Council in support of the planning effort. And so this is basically what the project's going to be. We're going to hire consultants with private development and design expertise to work with property owners in this area and with other stakeholders, which would be city officials and neighbors. And we are going to have them facilitate workshops and derive with us, working with us, some illustrative plans that show what we want for that area. And then we will take those plans, they will take those plans and develop a regulatory plan based on that of, what should the zoning be, what should the height requirements be, what should, where should we have a new street off highway, and if so, how are we going to do that, how is it going to connect to what's already there, and hopefully develop a neighborhood that is walkable, that offers workforce housing, offers jobs. We have the industrial area there on 23rd. Connecting with that, maybe expanding that to some extent, adding some commercial. And then following that development of that plan, then we'll have the city staff will get involved in providing GIS, organizational and communication outreach support, but also then taking that regulatory plan and making it into code amendments that we will then pass before the Planning Commission and the City Council to put in place so that when people are ready to redevelop or develop their property, we'll be all set to go. So that's the plan. And you can see the costs associated with it. I talked to somebody at the TGM program who is funding this about the costs, and that's where I got my estimates. And the city needs to provide a certain match, and so that's why I thought we would be able to do this amount, and it'll all be in-kind staff time for the match. So it's not costing us anything in terms of dollars, and we will be getting consultants who will provide us work valued at $150,000. So it's a pretty good deal. The schedule is that we are supposed to complete our negotiations with ODOT, and I'm not sure exactly what that will entail. But then we get involved in selecting a consultant, and that is supposed to be done by April 4th. By May 15th, we're supposed to negotiate the scope of work with the consultants so that we all understand exactly who's doing what. And then we execute the intergovernmental agreement with ODOT and the city, and I'm not sure the county may be involved because there is some county property there too on the east side of the highway. And then our schedule is to complete the project within basically a year from that date. When we did our walking and biking plan, it was a year to get started to hire the consultant, and I just couldn't believe it, and I did everything I could to speed it up, but it took a year. So I think they have made some changes at ODOT to try to move this along and get things going for us. So that's basically the project. I can talk a little more about the details, but right now, it's still a little bit up in the air, and we can kind of fine-tune the planning effort and the project, and as we move along and choose our consultants, and they might be able to give us some instruction that way. And the liaison that we're working with ODOT is the same one we worked on with the walking and biking plan. His name is David Helton, and he was a great help to us, a real advocate for us, and had a lot of good ideas. So that's all I have for in here, and we can take a ride down south and see the project area and stop at the Nell Scott Cafe.
Okay. Thank you very much, Deborah.
Yes.
Reports and comments.
I have nothing at this
You
time.
have nothing, okay. And
City attorney.
city attorney is MIA, or you're right here? Nothing, okay. Commissioners, anything to add? And no public comments, so the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 15th, 2013, and it says subject to cancellation. I take it we don't have any agenda at this point.
That's right.
So with us having this meeting tonight, is there any purpose?
Well, it's possible we can do some training that night. We'll just have to, I just want to not cancel it yet.
Okay,
But we'll give you timely notification.
okay, sounds good, thank you. If there's nothing else, we're going to adjourn. Thank you. And everybody going on the driving tour?
And we can all get in one van.